Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen, or whatever time that you're listening to this. This is Jock here. It's been a while since I've been on, and this is Deadly Departed. And today we're going to be talking about suicide and hell when we come right back. This is going to be a good one. God bless. Okay guys, welcome back to Deadly Departed, and if you haven't been here before, then welcome, and if you are a returning listener or viewer, then welcome back, and I'm glad that you're here with us. Now, why am I talking today about suicide and hell? In actual fact, I hadn't planned to come on and actually talk about this subject matter. I actually planned to do many videos. I'd been so much going on. I had a lot of plans to come out here and do different lessons and things, but this just needed dealt with. This needed taken care of, because when the third person comes to me, I think I've swallowed a fly. When the third person comes to me and asks me about a loved one that they have lost through suicide and is actually suffering more in their grief through the anguish that is caused by believing in dogmatic perception that hell exists, and whoever has taken their own life goes to a place called hell, or goes to to eternal damnation. So I'm gonna jump right into this, and we're gonna get right into it. And I'm not going to hopefully offend any religion or anything, but the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, is that hell doesn't exist. And actually, if you look at a lot of the in the scriptures, in the Bible and other scriptures, whether it be Mormon, whether it be Muslim, whether it be a Christian Bible, whether it be anything like that, even in Buddhism, there is nothing in any of the religious texts that says that suicide is a sin and that suicide is going to put you into eternal damnation. Now, is there an aspect of suicide that is negative? Yes, and we'll get onto that. But let's just right off the bat, for all of you people who have lost loved ones to suicide, they do not go to eternal damnation and they do not go to hell. And the reality is that hell doesn't exist. If you look back to ancient Greek, or you look back in Latin, or you look back even to Judaism way back in the days, you'll find that these are mentions, these are words, in Judaism it was Sheol, and in Greek, I can't remember what the name was in Greek, but the name we give something is to place a label on something, to give it form, substance, and something that we can understand from. But let me explain something. We only exist, ladies and gentlemen, because the animating force that runs through us is divine in operation, is divine in nature, and it runs under spiritual law. Divine perfection exists in us. It is divine perfection that brought us and animates us into life. Yes, we have free will, and there's lots of different lessons and things that we can talk about that, but divinity that exists within us does not condemn us, right? Neither do we condemn ourselves, really, in all honesty, because no matter what your conscious mind thinks, your soul is on a different, it's part of you, but the journey in itself is different to what you experience in the material world. And again, that's another very deep lesson. But if you look at ancient manuscripts and ancient texts where they talk about hell and everything, it's just to give it an understanding. And if you even look at in spiritualism, and a lot of our teachers, the great teachers, Silver Birch, White Eagle, those that had come through, they don't say that there's a hell. They don't even allude really to that. All they allude to is basically the vibrational planes that exist in the spirit world, okay, and the lower astral realms, which are lower vibrations, where obviously negative spirits and things like that reside, and where there is lower level aspirations, lower level life that exists there. But this was also alluded to in the Bible. This was alluded to in the New Testament when Jesus Christ said, "There's many mansions in my Father's house." But if you want to, those of you who are really into the Bible, if you want to look at John, I'm not sure what chapter it is. It might be chapter 13 or 16 or so. I can't remember. But John does not say that committing suicide is a sin, because he talks about how creation is within you. It's creation. It's part of creation. You are a divine being, and therefore suicide does not condemn you to eternal punishment and damnation. This was a false perception of man. It's a human perception, or if you like, a human belief system, to give us understanding and to put some kind of form into what is right and what is wrong. And the reality is that we don't know. If you don't believe in evil, then you don't really understand good, because if you're totally denying of that, then you're going to deny essentially parts of the other. One doesn't exist without the other. That's the only reason that we understand it. When we hurt our knee, we only, if we fall, we only know pain because we understand health, and we only know health because we understand pain. It's almost like this. We need these opposites to evolve us, to help us to evolve, and to help our souls to grow in understanding, in order to remember who we are, which is the reason we're here. It's not a school playground, and as much as we thought maybe that in the past, even I did at one point, we don't come here to learn lessons and come here just to have a school, and we're a realm of experience. Now, when someone, there is an element of when someone commits suicide, they're not immediately going to, if they go to the heavenly realms and the higher vibrations and things like that, because they have to understand what they've gone through. What I can tell you is that loved ones will be there to help them. Guardian angels will be there to help them. Spirit guides will be there to help them. They're not going to be condemned into eternal damnation or hell or the lower, because it doesn't exist. And they're not going to, the only way they're going to go to the lower astral realms is if they were exceptionally evil in this. They would have to atone for something, but they don't go to a place of eternal damnation. Okay? And most people, I've lost count the amount of people I've read for over the years who loved ones have committed suicide, and Spirit has come through and confirmed that they're brought into loving arms, and they are cared for. They are educated, and the choices they made that took them to that potential place, that took them to that place, that made them take that decision to take their life. Now, there's a caveat. There's another aspect to this, and I'm going to do this in a later lesson. Yes, negative entities can, depending on your spiritual awareness and your strength, your spiritual power, can tempt you and to cross over. I've done readings in the past, and that has came through, and I'll talk about that in another lesson. But for those of you, your loved one's not evil, your loved one's not possessed in any way, and your loved one's not, involved in really, really, really bad things, they're not going to go to eternal hell, suffering, damnation. And I want you to put it out your mind. When they get over to the spirit world, they're going to be looked after. Spirit guides are going to look after them. They're going to learn about what brought them to that position and how they could have made different choices. Almost like a life review, if you've heard about that. When we cross over, we all get a life review. The same thing is they're going to get that, and there's going to be a time, and a time of them adjusting and learning what it was that took them over and why they got to that position. But perhaps the hell that people maybe think they experience, right, is maybe how their choices have made their loved ones on this side think and suffer because of the choice that they're made. And for that reason, yes, it could be understood as a kind of a hellish place that you put yourself in, but that's somewhere you put yourself in. And I've got no other better term for it, but it's a state of mind that they're over there, and they'll be going through suffering aspects of that in order to understand what upheaval they've caused on the other side. But again, they're not in a place of hell. They will learn lovingly through that, and they will eventually come through, and you'll see signs of your loved ones. And in Christianity, it doesn't say that you go to hell. So many people that have been former Catholics or Christians that have come to me, or in any religion, doesn't matter whether you're Muslim or Hindu or anything, they don't go to hellfire and damnation. That is something that we have actually created for ourselves. And the great Silver Birch talks about the planes of existence and the other side, the vibrationary planes of existence. So we need to put out of our mind that our loved ones, if they commit suicide through the suffering that they've been going through here, either mentally, emotionally, physically, or anything else, and it puts them on a one-way ticket, a one-way train, if you like, to a place that is called hell. If you look at the whole history of hell and its existence, it's really born by man's perception. Nothing divine has ever really said this is hell. And scriptures, remember, ladies and gentlemen, are born of perception as well. They're not the be-all and end-all and everything exactly as it says, because these things have changed over years and over times. And a word in ancient Aramaic that virgin meant unwed woman. It didn't actually mean virgin in that same concept. So words and understandings and things change over the times. Things change, stories change. It's like Chinese whispers. But one thing I can categorically tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that hell doesn't exist. And your loved one, if they have committed suicide, they will be looked after in the spirit world, no matter what religion you're from or your belief system. Loving spirits will help guide them, comfort them, and educate them into what took them to that process. And that has never changed for me, or for the many, many, many years of people that I've given readings and sittings for, where this information has come through, or when we've been in development circle and things like that. So I want to try and hopefully put this to bed now, and make it ecumenical, make it for everybody, make it not even born of dogma or religion, but just for you to understand that there is no such place as hell. And your loved ones, when they commit suicide, they don't go to such a place. They will be looked after. And it won't be long before you actually feel them or hear them. Let me know, guys, what you think, or what you've been taught, or if you're someone like people that have contacted me through in my Instagram that have experienced these teachings that have caused great anguish and shame. Then please let me know. I want to know, and I want to talk to you. I want to put your mind at rest to let you understand that that's not the reality, and that even if you look into the history of everything, it is all born of man's perception. It is not a divine law. Divine law is perfect in its operation. And remember, if there's one thing that I really want you to remember, we are spirits having a human experience. That means that the animating force that is of creation, that creates the beautiful rose, that creates the sound of a crying child, or the birth of a newborn animal or baby, that animating force, we only exist because it animates us, and it is pure love. It is pure divine power. It will not condemn. It doesn't know condemnation. It only knows love. And that animating force that exists in you existed in your loved one. Divinity is not going to punish itself and throw itself to hellfire, but it is going to learn the soul to experience things that will help them in their growth and the development of the soul. And therefore, when your loved one unfortunately takes that choice to cross over by their own hand, because of environmental pressures, because of things going on in their life, and I'll get into another lesson later as well, I'll go deeper into that subject. it doesn't mean they're condemned, because they still have divine power and divine spirit in them. They're only going to cross over. They're not evil. 99% of people are not as evil as what, people will think would go to hell. If you commit a sin, you go to hell. That's just not true. Yes, there is people that are evil. Yes, there are people that are obsessed and influenced. And there's a great question mark over that, and it's something we'll go into more. But 99% of people that are take their own lives are suffering, and that's the important thing. They are suffering through pressures and through things and choices that they've made, or environmentally. They're not bad. Nothing's going to happen to them that way. When life gets too much in the material and they make the choice to cross over, they're still a spirit, and they're going to be met by loving spirits, and they're going to be educated by loving spirits. And once they've got through that time and they've got through that process where they've learned how it's affected their loved ones back home or back in the material world, they will be able to come through and communicate. They will be able to come through. They will be able to give evidence. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. We are all born, we're all animated by the same force. There is no discernible change in that force which animates life, no matter what religion you perceive or you call it. So, ladies and gentlemen, hell doesn't exist. And if you are a person who has lost a loved one through suicide, I promise you, with my heart and my soul, they're not going to hell, and they're not going to suffer in eternal flames and damnation. But they will be educated, and they'll be educated in love, and they'll come back in love to make their presence known and felt to you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, get in touch with me if you've got any questions. This is Job Brokers. This is Deadly Departed. And just a quick announcement. I will be beginning to interview a lot of professionals that I respect in the field of parapsychology and afterlife and all that kind of stuff that's going on. So I will be bringing more guests and things on board. I'm looking forward to that. And I wasn't meant to come on today, but I think we needed to hear it. I think you needed to hear it. And the people who have approached me, let this be a lesson to you that love does not condemn love, okay? And that there is no place as hell, okay? It does not exist. And I know there's going to be loads of questions come back at me, and I'm ready for them. All of them. God bless, ladies and gentlemen.